Welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we are going to completely reframe what it means to have professional courage. I mean, if you've ever felt overshadowed by the loudest person in the room, you know the exact type, the one who talks for 10 minutes without actually saying anything, then this is absolutely for you. We're going to trade in all those exhausting myths about confidence for a highly practical, totally stress-free system.
So let me ask you a very direct question. Do you actually need confidence to succeed at work? Society constantly tells us that to get ahead, you've got to be outspoken, highly confident, and just naturally influential. But what if you're naturally quiet, thoughtful, or maybe just feeling a little bit hesitant right now? Does that mean you're doomed to remain invisible, even though you have excellent ideas?
The answer is a resounding no. No way. In fact, you do not need confidence to create your first workplace win. You create workplace wins to build confidence. Let that sink in for just a second. We always think it's confidence that produces the action, right? But actually, scratch that, it's the action that produces the confidence. The objective here isn't to artificially manufacture bravery out of thin air. The objective is to manufacture evidence of your capability.
Okay, let's dive into Section 1, the confidence trap. And our subtitle here is Why Waiting to Feel Confident is a Mistake.
You see, there's a hidden problem we call the confidence trap. It's essentially a 4-step downward spiral that catches so many of us. Step 1, I lack confidence. Because of that, Step 2 happens. I don't speak up or take initiative, which naturally leads to Step 3, nobody notices me, and I get very little recognition. And the tragic result in Step 4, my confidence decreases even further. It is a completely paralyzing cycle. Waiting around until you finally feel ready is exactly the thing keeping you stuck. We have to reverse this.
To reverse that cycle, we need a completely new baseline. Enter the workplace win. A workplace win is simply a small but meaningful contribution that improves something at work. It could be fixing a process, bettering communication, or just helping out teamwork. Notice what's missing from that definition? Drama? Huge leaps? The question is never, did I do something wildly impressive? The only question you need to ask is, did something become better because of my contribution? Spotting a typo before it reaches a client, or simplifying a really messy report. Those are massive wins.
Moving right along to Section 2, the 10% rule, evidence before confidence.
10%, that is your new magic number. When you're feeling uncertain, the absolute worst thing you can ask yourself is, what is the biggest, most courageous action I can take right now? That literally just spikes your anxiety. Instead, ask yourself, what action is only 10% outside my comfort zone? That's it, just 10%. Let's make this super practical. Think about the actions that feel too big for a hesitant professional. Leading the entire all-hands meeting? Or how about networking with 10 random people at a corporate mixer while desperately clutching a warm ginger ale? I mean, terrifying, right? But what about the 10% alternatives? Instead of leading the meeting, your 10% courage might just be offering to summarize the action items at the very end. Instead of networking with a huge crowd, you just build one meaningful professional relationship. Small courage, repeated consistently, becomes professional courage.
All right, Section 3, Creating Workplace Wins, the WIN Formula.
A really strong professional reputation actually requires 3 distinct things. First up, value. Did you actually improve something? Second, visibility. Does the relevant person actually know about the improvement? And third, voice. Can you communicate your contribution clearly? All 3 of these matter so much. You can create enormous value, but without visibility, you remain completely hidden. Or, you could be highly visible, kind of like our loud friend from earlier, but if you aren't creating real value, you won't be respected. We need all 3 working together in harmony.
Which brings us perfectly to Section 4, communicating without bragging, the PAR method.
I know, self-promotion can feel incredibly awkward, but there is a massive difference between boasting and true professional communication. Weak communication sounds kind of like, I worked really hard on this. It's vague, and frankly, it sounds a bit like you're fishing for a compliment. Strong communication, on the other hand, sounds like, I noticed a delay, simplified the tracker, and the team saved a day. And this brilliantly illustrates the difference. You aren't bragging about how amazing you are simply stating the objective, undeniable facts of the value you delivered. It feels entirely natural. Now that strong statement we just heard was built using the PAR method. Whenever you create a 10% workplace win, you document it in 3 super simple steps. 1. Problem. What was happening? 2. Action. What did I do? 3. Result. What changed?
For example, problem: customer complaints were taking way too long. Action: I created a simple escalation tracker. Result: pending cases became so much easier to monitor. It is completely foolproof, and it takes the emotion, the bragging, and the hesitation totally out of the equation. Once you master this method, you start building what we call a workplace evidence bank. You meticulously track the problem, your action, and the result. But the real magic? That happens in step 4, what this proves. Think about it. If you simplified a delay tracker and saved the team an entire day, what does that actually prove? It proves you can bring structure to complexity. If you resolved a really difficult customer issue, it proves you remain calm under pressure. By documenting these small wins, you are systematically manufacturing undeniable proof of your own capability. And when you see that proof right in front of you, your confidence is going to organically skyrocket.
Let's move to Section 5, your unbeatable USP. And our subtitle here is Climbing the Workplace Win Ladder. Look, let's see how this builds over time. Because you do not jump from hesitation to leadership overnight, you climb gradually. On day 1, you might just be at level 1. You notice a problem. By week 2, you move to level 3. You're taking a small 10% action. Fast forward to month 3, you're at level 5, confidently communicating results using that PAR method. And by year 1, you hit level 8, leadership. Real leadership doesn't begin with a sudden, magical surge of authority. It begins with simply noticing something, doing a small thing, and making it better. You evolve into a trusted expert without ever having to fake extroversion.
Because as you climb that ladder, something incredible happens. Your unique selling proposition, your USP, it shouldn't be invented. It has to be discovered from repeated evidence. You don't just wake up one random Tuesday and announce to the office, I am the clarity creator. No, you first use your 10% courage to turn confusion into clarity in 10 different small situations. You document it in your evidence bank. And eventually your reputation naturally forms. Hey, when things are chaotic, ask her. So, I really want you to start discovering your USP this week. In fact, I am challenging you to a 7-day Workplace Wins Challenge. It's highly practical and literally incredibly low friction. Day 1, just notice 3 problems. Day 2, choose the absolute smallest one. Day 3, take one 10% action. Day 4, observe what happens. Day 5, make a little adjustment. Day 6, communicate the result using our new PAR method. And finally, Day 7, reflect on what capability you just proved you have. You can literally start this today. So as we wrap up this explainer, I'm going to leave you with this final empowering question. What is your next 10% step? Remember, you do not have to become louder to become more influential. You don't have to become an extrovert to become visible. And you absolutely do not have to feel confident to take action. You only need to create your very next small 10% workplace win. Go out there and start building your evidence. Thank you so much for learning with me today, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.